If getting rich were truly difficult, the foolish would never succeed. Yet they do. The real problem is not that money is hard to make. The problem is that you have been taught the wrong rules. Listen carefully, because this is where the illusion begins to crack. You have been trained to believe that wealth is random, unfair, or reserved for the fortunate. You are told stories of overnight success, lottery winners, miracles, and right place, right time. These stories are not designed to inspire you. They are designed to excuse your obedience. Because if wealth is luck, then poverty is not your fault, and if it is not your fault, you never feel the urgency to change your position. But power has never moved by chance. Money behaves like a disciplined army. It follows structure, hierarchy, and command. It does not wander. It does not guess. It advances where rules are obeyed and retreats where emotion leads. The rich understand this, even if they cannot articulate it. The poor deny it, even while living under its consequences. Observe the pattern. Across nations, cultures, and generations, the same types of people rise. Not the most moral, not the most exhausted, not even the most intelligent, but the ones who understand leverage, timing, and control. This repetition alone should terrify you, because randomness does not repeat itself so cleanly. The world rewards those who play by its hidden rules, not those who complain about them. One of the first rules is this: money does not respond to need. You can want it desperately, pray for it, suffer for it, and still remain invisible to it. Money responds to value positioned correctly, not value in your heart, but value in the marketplace. What you can offer that others cannot easily replace, multiplied by how many people you can reach without your constant presence. This is why hard work is praised but rarely rewarded. Effort makes you tired, structure makes you rich. Another rule is that wealth prefers clarity over chaos. The masses scatter their energy. They chase 10 goals, learn 5 skills halfway, start and abandon endlessly. The wealthy compress their focus. One primary skill, one vehicle, one direction. They repeat until dominance forms. This is not passion. This is strategy. Luck is what people call outcomes they did not study. Consider how early you were taught the wrong equation. Work hard equals success. Be patient equals reward. Be loyal equals safety. These ideas are excellent for maintaining order, but disastrous for creating wealth. A disciplined employee is valuable to a system. An independent thinker is dangerous to it. So the rules of money are never explained directly. They are hidden behind moral language. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power does not announce its mechanics to the governed. It disguises necessity as virtue. And money, being a form of power, follows the same principle. Those who get rich early are not blessed. They are simply less confused. They learn faster that income is not tied to hours but to decisions. That risk, calculated and repeated, is superior to safety prolonged. That being visible beats being perfect. That controlling distribution is more powerful than perfecting the product. Once you see the rules, you cannot unsee them. You begin to notice how money flows upward, not outward. How systems reward owners, not participants. How scale multiplies effort while labor divides it. How attention is more valuable than skill, and how skill without exposure is a wasted weapon. And then, the most uncomfortable realization arrives. If wealth follows rules, and the rules are learnable, then poverty is not a mystery. It is a consequence of playing a different game entirely. This is why people resist this truth. Because it removes the comfort of victimhood. It replaces complaint with responsibility. It demands strategy over emotion. And most people would rather believe the world is unfair than accept they have been undisciplined in thought. Money is simple because rules are simple. But simplicity is ruthless. It does not negotiate. It does not care about your intentions. It only responds to alignment. Once you stop asking why others are lucky and start asking which rules they obeyed, your entire perception shifts. You stop chasing inspiration and start studying positioning. You stop admiring outcomes and start analyzing behavior. You stop hoping and start constructing. And this is the moment where wealth begins to move closer to you, not because you deserve it, not because you worked harder, but because for the first time you are standing where the rules allow it to arrive. Because money has always been less about effort and more about obedience to principles that never announce themselves. Principles that reward those who see the board clearly and move without hesitation, while others wait for fairness, permission, or a sign that will never come, because the system was never designed to explain itself, only to respond to those who understand that rules exist whether you respect them or not, and that once you align your actions with them consistently, silently, without emotion, the outcome stops being a mystery and starts becoming inevitable. And the only remaining question is whether you will continue playing the comforting game you were taught or step into the colder, simpler reality where wealth follows order, clarity, and control rather than hope, effort, or chance. Pay attention, because this is where resistance begins, not from the world, but from inside you. The greatest enemy of wealth is not poverty, competition, or lack of opportunity. It is the stories you were taught to protect you from discomfort. Lies that sound gentle, lies that feel safe, lies that keep you calm, obedient, and permanently average. The system does not crush you with force, it pacifies you with reassurance. You are told that money corrupts, that ambition is dangerous, that wanting more means you are ungrateful. You are told that patience is always rewarded, that humility guarantees elevation, that someone is watching and keeping score. These ideas are not accidental, they are sedatives. They dull urgency, they delay action, they turn hunger into guilt. Machiavelli warned that the easiest man to rule is the one who believes virtue alone will protect him. Comforting lies exist to explain why you should wait. Wait your turn, wait for experience, wait for approval, wait until you are ready. And while you wait, others move, not because they are better, but because they are less restrained by illusion. The lie of follow your passion has destroyed more potential than failure ever could. Passion without leverage is entertainment, not strategy. The market does not reward what excites you. It rewards what solves problems at scale. But passion feels noble, so people cling to it while ignoring positioning, demand, and distribution. Another lie whispers that security is success. Get a stable path, avoid risk, protect what little you have. This is not wisdom, this is fear dressed as responsibility. Security makes you predictable, predictability makes you replaceable, and replaceable people do not accumulate power or wealth. They rent survival from institutions that can discard them at any moment. The most dangerous lie of all is that morality and money are opposites, that to win financially you must owes your soul. This false choice keeps decent people poor and ruthless people unchallenged. Wealth is not immoral, it is neutral. It amplifies who you already are. But as long as you fear it, you will never learn to control it. Observe how these lies operate. They do not forbid wealth, they delay it indefinitely. They promise that if you behave correctly long enough, reward will arrive without confrontation. But wealth is not granted for good behavior. It is taken through clarity, courage, and repeated execution. The masses confuse comfort with peace. Comfort is stagnation. Peace is control. Comfort asks you to avoid pain. Control asks you to endure it strategically. Those who rise choose the second, even when it isolates them. Notice how often people say, "It's not about the money." This sentence sounds enlightened, but it is usually spoken by those who lack it. Money may not be everything, but the absence of it makes everything harder. Power understands this. That is why it never apologizes for wanting more. Comforting lies teach you to negotiate with reality instead of mastering it. They encourage balance when imbalance is required. They reward patience when speed is needed. They praise humility when assertion is demanded. They make you feel moral while remaining ineffective. And the tragedy is that these lies are often repeated by people who love you, parents, teachers, friends, not because they are evil, but because they are afraid. They pass down survival strategies from a world that no longer exists, a slower world, a forgiving world, a world without scale, automation, and ruthless competition for attention. But the rules have changed, and comforting lies did not update. The wealthy learn early to distrust narratives that feel good but produce no results. They test ideas against outcomes, not intentions. They abandon beliefs that no longer serve them, even when those beliefs are praised by society. This is why they appear cold. In reality, they are simply loyal to results. Once you begin to question these lies, discomfort rises. Confusion follows. Isolation appears. This is not failure. This is withdrawal from mental addiction. You are detoxing from stories that kept you small. And in that moment, when comfort fades and responsibility steps forward, you realize something unsettling. The lies were never forced on you. You accepted them because they relieved you of pressure, because they gave you permission to stay still while calling it wisdom, because they allowed you to explain stagnation without confronting fear. Wealth demands that you abandon the need to be reassured. It requires you to replace comforting lies with uncomfortable truths, to choose effectiveness over approval, to think strategically rather than morally when the situation demands it, to accept that no one is coming to rescue you and that the world does not reward intention but alignment. And once you stop obeying the lies that keep you calm and start obeying the realities that make you dangerous, you no longer wait for opportunity, you position yourself to absorb it the moment it appears, because comfort was never the goal, and truth was never meant to feel safe. Listen closely, because this truth insults the ego, and that is why it is often ignored. Intelligence is praised, celebrated, and admired, yet it is rarely what creates wealth. If intelligence alone were enough, universities would be factories of millionaires, and the smartest people in the room would always control the outcome. But reality refuses this fantasy. Wealth does not bow to brilliance, it bows to clarity. Highly intelligent people often suffer from overthinking. They see too many angles, too many risks, too many possibilities. They analyze until action dissolves into hesitation. They wait for certainty in a world that rewards speed. Their minds become prisons of complexity, beautifully constructed, intellectually impressive, and completely unprofitable. Clarity, on the other hand, is brutal. It simplifies decisions into few variables and acts decisively. It does not ask what could go wrong endlessly. It asks what must be done next and executes without ceremony. This is why average thinkers often outperform geniuses financially. They move while others debate. The rich are not those who know the most. They are those who eliminate the unnecessary. Clarity begins with understanding what matters and discarding the rest. Most people drown in information. Books, videos, advice, opinions. They mistake consumption for progress. They feel productive while remaining stationary. Clarity feels empty by comparison because it removes distraction. It demands commitment to a narrow path and indifference to everything else. Machiavelli observed that those who attempt to be everything to everyone end up controlled by all. The same is true in wealth. When you try to master everything, you master nothing. When you chase multiple directions, momentum fractures. But when you choose one path and walk it relentlessly, even with imperfect knowledge, power accumulates. Intelligence loves complexity because complexity protects the ego. If something fails, it can be explained, clarified, justified. Simplicity offers no hiding place. If a simple plan fails, responsibility is immediate. That is why clarity feels dangerous. It removes excuses. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They design their lives to reduce decisions, not multiply them. They automate what can be automated. They delegate what can be delegated. They reserve thinking energy for leverage points, not trivialities. This is not laziness. This is precision. Observe how often intelligent people delay action by learning a bit more. One more book, one more course, one more strategy. They call this preparation. In truth, it is fear disguised as intellect. Clarity says, you already know enough to begin. Begin, then refine. Wealth is created through repetition, not revelation. Those who get rich rarely have a sudden moment of genius. They identify a simple model that works and repeat it relentlessly. Sell one thing to one group in one way, then scale. This repetition compounds quietly while others chase novelty and complexity, constantly restarting, constantly explaining why they are still preparing. Clarity also means knowing what you are willing to ignore. Social approval, immediate comfort, the opinions of those who have never built anything. Intelligent people often crave validation because they are used to being praised for thinking. The wealthy crave results because results are measurable and undeniable. There is also a deeper reason clarity outperforms intelligence. Intelligence seeks understanding. Wealth seeks outcome. Understanding feels complete even without action. Outcome only exists after action. This is why smart people can feel satisfied while achieving nothing. Their minds are active, so they mistake movement for progress. Clarity demands alignment between thought and action. It does not tolerate contradiction. If something is important, it is scheduled. If it is not scheduled, it is not important. This brutal honesty terrifies people who enjoy the illusion of effort. Once clarity is hold, confusion becomes intolerable. You stop asking 10 people for advice and start measuring results. You stop debating possibilities and start observing reality. You stop explaining your plans and start executing them quietly. And something subtle but powerful happens. Momentum forms. Small wins reinforce belief. Belief sharpens focus. Focus accelerates execution. Execution produces leverage. This cycle has nothing to do with being the smartest person in the room. It has everything to do with seeing clearly enough to move decisively. The tragedy is that many intelligent people never allow themselves to become wealthy because wealth demands simplicity, and simplicity feels beneath them. They would rather be right than rich, understood than effective, admired for their thoughts rather than respected for their outcomes. And as long as intelligence is used as an identity instead of a tool, it will continue to sabotage action, while clarity, humble and uncelebrated, quietly builds power for those willing to reduce life to what actually works and repeat it without apology until results become unavoidable. Understand this before anything else, because without it, money will always feel distant, temporary, or fragile. Money is not the beginning, it is the result. Power comes first. And power is not what movies show you. It is not loud dominance or public authority. It is control over outcomes without needing permission. Those who chase money directly often struggle. Those who build power first attract money as a consequence. Power begins with control of yourself, your time, your attention, your reactions. A man who cannot control his impulses cannot control income. He is reactive, emotional, distracted. The world exploits this weakness relentlessly. Notifications steal his focus. Opinions hijack his direction. Comfort sedates his ambition. He believes he is busy while remaining ineffective. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who cannot command himself will always be commanded by others. The same applies to wealth. Before money arrives, discipline must already exist. Before scale appears, consistency must already be proven. Money does not fix chaos, it magnifies it. The next layer of power is control over perception. People do not respond to truth alone, they respond to framing. Value is not only created, it is communicated. Those who understand this rise faster than those who believe quality speaks for itself. Quality without visibility is invisible. Invisible value creates no wealth. Powerful individuals learn to shape how they are seen, not through deception, but through deliberate positioning. They choose where they appear, how often, and in what context. They understand that attention is currency, and currency flows toward those who manage it intentionally. Then comes control over access. Access to information, access to opportunity, access to people. Power grows when you become a gatekeeper rather than a seeker. When others must come rough you to reach something they want. This is why networks outperform resumes, and why proximity to decision makers accelerates wealth faster than isolated excellence. The poor ask for opportunities. The powerful create environments where opportunities must pass through them. Money follows this structure naturally. Investors fund those who already influence outcomes. Customers buy from those they trust or recognize. Partners align with those who reduce uncertainty. Power reduces risk for others, and money rewards risk reduction generously. Another misunderstood aspect of power is leverage. Leverage is the ability to produce results without proportional effort. Systems, capital, media, code, teams. These are not luxuries, they are expressions of power. Those who rely solely on personal effort remain capped. Those who build leverage break ceilings quietly. Power also requires the courage to be disliked. Approval is expensive. It costs honesty, speed, and dominance. Those who seek universal acceptance are easily controlled because they fear backlash more than failure. Power belongs to those who can withstand misunderstanding while executing their vision relentlessly. Notice how those with power speak less but act more. They do not announce plans prematurely. They do not seek validation. They let outcomes speak. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint. And restraint is power. Once power is established, money arrives almost automatically, not because it is chased, but oars. It is needed to expand influence. Wealth becomes fuel, not the destination. It supports systems already in motion. It amplifies control already established. This is why lottery winners lose money and leaders multiply it. One acquires money without power, the other acquires money as an extension of power. Without power, money destabilizes. With power, money consolidates. When you reverse the order and seek power first, everything changes. You stop asking how to get rich and start asking how to become unavoidable. You focus on becoming someone whose absence creates a gap, someone who controls a resource, a skill, an audience, or a process that others depend on. Power is built deliberately, patiently, often invisibly. It does not rush, it positions, it studies. It waits until movement is inevitable, and when it moves decisively. Money follows power because power controls direction. It determines where resources flow, which problems get solved, which voices are amplified. Wealth is simply one of those resources responding to authority already established, and once you understand this hierarchy, you stop chasing currency and start constructing influence, knowing that money has never led the march, but has always followed those who commanded the terrain long before the reward arrived. Now step back and see the full design clearly. Wealth was never hidden from you. It was simply buried under noise, comfort, and false complexity. The rules were always visible, but only to those willing to look without emotion. Money follows order. It punishes confusion. It rewards alignment. And it moves predictably toward those who understand power before they chase reward. Getting rich is simpler than you were told because simplicity exposes responsibility. Once you accept that wealth obeys rules, that comforting lies keep you obedient, that clarity outperforms intelligence, and that power must come before money, excuses collapse. What remains is choice, not hope, not motivation, choice. You either continue playing the game designed for the many, safe, slow, and reassuring, or you step into the colder game played by the few, where outcomes matter more than intentions and strategy matters more than effort. This is not about greed. It is about control. Control over your time, control over your direction, control over whether you live reacting to circumstances or shaping them. The world does not resist your rise. It tests your discipline. It watches whether you will stay consistent without applause, decisive without permission, focused without reassurance. And when you do, wealth stops being a dream and starts behaving like a consequence. Remember this: money is never the reward for wanting more. It is the reward for becoming more precise, more disciplined, and more strategic. Ideally positioned than the average mind is willing to tolerate. Once you understand this, the confusion fades, the path narrows, and the outcome stops being a mystery.